Do you go to one of those people that's in the Walmart parking lot that does
No,
your
I've
chips
seen
and
them.
chips?
And I've always
fixes
wondered
the
if
chips?
I love chips, but not glass chips.
Because I always see that guy setting his little tent up, and I'm
wonder.
like, who goes there?
I drove past one today, and they said they do like alignments and torques and all this stuff, and this guy's just sitting there like bored as hell. I'm like, I wonder how many people a day. It's got to be somewhat lucrative for them to keep coming back.
Oh my God, who the fuck goes there like, hey, can you get my lug nuts a little tightened?
Yeah.
They feel loose, like you need to see a psychiatrist. If you're driving around and you feel in your body like your lug nuts are loose, you need to see a psychiatrist.
God, I got that loose lug nut feel again.
Who gives it? Oh, we were talking about psychiatrists last week, but I think
were.
it's the ultimate power move to say that you see a psychiatrist, because it's like, I have a lot of problems, but money ain't one of them, bitch. And every broke person is like, hey, try having no money. The other ones go away.
Yeah.
If you want to save money on psychiatry, burn all your cash and empty your fridge, and then see how quickly all your other problems immediately evaporate into nothing.
That's the reason why I don't go.
That's why there's less depression in third world countries. There's less depression in third world countries because humans are designed to gather, hunt, fucking be on the move.
And
like, it's the people who sit.
Yeah, they don't have time to sit around all day and be like,
sitting.
I'm miserable.
Yeah, they're like, why does my aunt look at me that way whenever I ask her to pass me the cheese? we have time to fucking... That's freedom. Depression is freedom. Did you know that?
Depression is not a third world country problem.
When you say thanks, Grandpa, for our freedom, what is that feeling? That's the feeling of hopelessness and despair that you get from sitting on your ass and pondering.
That's
what they fought
all
for.
I've been doing recently, and all I do is think about like how terrible everything is, and like I don't have a career anymore, and it probably never will again.
Yeah, I just sit around like, I don't have a girlfriend, and then my wife's like, what the fuck?
Oh, my other friends have a girlfriend.
How come everybody else gets it too? I only get one girl.
I'm drinking wine.
Of course you are.
Because why not? But I love boxed wine because it always feels like you're milking a wine cow. That's what it feels like. It's like you press the button, it's like it feels like you're milking the wine cow.
Isn't that fun?
It's really fun.
Hey, you had a celebrity sighting.
Yeah, you.
And I don't mean some nobody saw you.
Well, so a celebrity saw my dog.
A celebrity saw my dog. Who is the celebrity, Kathleen? Go ahead and name drop it.
Well, he's not really a celebrity to me, but to a lot of boys.
Wait a minute.
I know he does stuff.
He does stuff.
He's famous, but he's not like,
He's a fucking superstar. He's
Pele. But there's celebrities that I probably would freak. Like if Taylor Swift was here, I'd freak out, and you'd be like, it's just Taylor Swift.
No, I'd be like, who is that insanely hot chick in your yard?
It's me. I mean, you've never said that phrase in my yard ever. No.
How come you never say that in my yard?
No. Okay. So we were at the dog park, and Eugene. If you follow Eugene on Instagram, you know he loves sticks. And he loves giant, like the bigger the stick, the better. And he had this one that was about the length of a broom. And he's running it, and this guy's like, whoa, that's a big stick for a little dog or something like that. And I looked at him, and then I was like, he looked familiar. And it was Connor McDavid.
Holy shit. Connor McDavid looked at your dog and said something.
Something about his stick handling. Maybe Eugene needs to go and play for the Oilers.
No, he'd be fucking the worst.
Maybe Eugene can be the stick boy. He can go and get their sticks when they need them. Oh my God, that'd be so cute. Oh.
And then they break his stick, and then he hands it to them over the boards as they continue to play. Good job, Eugene.
Oh, that'd be so cute. But it's weird when you see, this is what happened. I looked at him when he said that, and he had the look of, you're going to recognize me in my eyes. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
It's like, is this person going to freak
bitch
out?
Knows who I am. Yeah.
Or what's going to...
Does she want to fuck me? Does she want my money? Yeah.
I don't want to fuck him. I want his money, but I don't want to fuck him.
Would you fuck him for his money?
Well, for his money, I guess I would have to.
Because he has a girlfriend. She's doing all the, like,
and
he's
she's gorgeous. That's the other thing. I looked at him.
Like he's gonna be with some fucking 6 out of 10
But this is the
from
thing.
Sears.
This is why I was like, this guy's
Come
famous.
on.
This is why I was gonna say this guy's famous, because I looked at him and then I looked at her and I was just like,
right.
Whoa, she's really pretty, and that guy is just okay.
Oh yeah.
And every hockey player, that's the only reason to go to 5 a.m. practices is one day your ugly mug might get to marry a hot model.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's like, listen to me, bitch. I've got a huge dick and a 6-pack, and I make $12.5 million a year. Do you think I'm fucking? Of course he does.
You've looked, haven't you?
Yeah. You think I don't look
I've thought about
when I was in the shower with Connor McDavid in junior hockey? I'm only fucking 27, Kathleen. No, but he's doing fine.
He's doing fine, and his dog is really cute. It's like one of the doodle.
Did you say anything about his dog or anything?
No, I wasn't. It was very fast. You walked by, and
Where was
He is
this?
pretty fast.
at the Buena
He is
Vista
very
Dog
fast.
Park in Edmonton. It's one of the
The
many
Buena
dog
Vista
parks.
off leash.
Off leash.
Okay.
Off leash is controversial with some people. Like some
Why?
people, because they're like, "Oh, your dog, it's so unsafe because your dog could be killed by another dog there." But I'm like, you'll see dog fights once in a while down there, but I've never had an issue at the dog park. I had an issue when I was walking around my fucking neighborhood with a leash on them, and some other dog had like yanked itself off its leash and ate my dog and bit her vagina.
Ate your dog and bit her vagina?
Yeah, they bit her
did
on the
she
vagina.
bite pussy first, or?
Well, I don't know what was going on, but she.
Because that'd be a weird dog fight. Is they just go straight for the puss? They skip neck and everything right underneath. Like, how's he doing that? Looks like he's trying to fix a car. What the fuck is he doing, biting my dog's genitals?
That was the saddest part when they told her she's got a cut on her vagina. I was like, oh my god. But she's fine. She's tough.
Are you getting your vaccination?
Hopefully,
Have you signed up for it?
I've signed up for something at Shoppers Drug Bar, and then I went today, and I was like, I've heard that like I can come in, like I can call right before you close, and sometimes she's like, oh yeah, we have like a list of 500 people long. Like everybody wants.
Yeah.
Why can't they just say, okay, we're opening up Commonwealth Stadium. If your name starts with the letter J, come down and get your vaccination. If you can't make it for a reasonable issue, we can do something else. But it's just like, why is it so? Why are you making it so? It is now, which is why I'm very excited to turn 40. It's open to people over 40. But I qualified for it before because I'm fat and diabetic. Yeah. But
Yahoo!
I do. Adam got his second one yesterday. He's
God
fully
damn.
vaccinated.
He's
I
ready
can
to
take
rock
him to
and
the
roll.
dog park now.
Oh,
He's
and
fully
what happened?
vaccinated.
I saw Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin is
Oh,
guilty.
yeah.
Is that right, Jim?
Oh, he got.
Guilty on all 3 charges.
Yes, they had to. There's no fucking way they could not. Because even like so many of the
The
doctors,
chief of police
Yeah.
said he did it wrong.
everybody, like when you
Yeah.
heard the testimony saying there's no way this person died from anything other than being knelt on. Like he didn't die of a drug overdose. He didn't die of a heart issue.
When the cops turned on him, though, that's when you know, like.
Yeah, the cops. When the
Yeah.
cops are. But he's probably some piece of shit cop that deserved to get.
Seemed like a
he
nice
is,
guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, real nice guy. Real
From the video I
sweetheart.
saw.
Real sweetheart. I mean, I am thankful for him being on this planet because honestly, he kind of kickstarted a bigger movement forward. because
It's one of my favorite photos. Is just his face, like that face that he makes. And
Oh, yeah.
You just see that one picture of him where he's. Think about that for the rest of your life. I mean, he's obviously a terrible human being
Yeah.
who deserves to suffer. But he was going to plead guilty, and then Bill Barr, the Attorney General at the time,
Yeah.
said, no, don't plead guilty. Go through the trial, blah, blah, blah. Like, so it was like some kind of weird Trump thing of like, Trump's Attorney General was like, no, not, don't plead guilty, like, take this to court, fight this.
Well,
So
they
he
probably
fought
didn't
it for
want
that
to
reason.
give him a deal, and they probably also didn't want to look like they were accepting it. I don't know. I'm just glad because like even watching those documentaries about the riots in LA, like just seeing the bubbling and how many people were getting so mad, and then it just was like when the whole Rodney King thing, everyone just snapped. Like if he was found innocent today, there'd be riots happening right now.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it. They've made that documentary 10 times.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nothing fucking
It's an
changed.
old
No, I know.
documentary. Yeah,
But
they've
this
made it a lot.
They've made it like I watched 92. That was
Like
a really good
any,
one.
Like that storyline has
Yeah.
happened so many times. And
Yeah.
Finally, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the economics around it has to change, right? You just can't have, like these fucking weird white. I mean, that's the problem too. Is like they often talk about like, well, these I think that here's what we forget about the psychology of some police officers is everybody seems to think like, well, we just need to give them more training in non-lethal ways like jiu-jitsu and taekwondo and karate and
Yeah.
boxing. But I think a lot of departments are afraid like if we give them more physical skills, they'll fucking kill more people. If we teach some of these lunatics how to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, they
Yeah.
might start fucking people up even more.
Yeah.
Like, so it's, I don't know what you do. And then the girl, what was the girl's thing? She's like, I thought it was my taser.
She thought it was her taser. When I read that, I'm like, you people are you're so desperate to not look like a horrible fucking human being, but there's no way you can. They're like, and you read the list of.
It's not great for girl cops, right? It's like, because I don't think we would have bought it if it was a dude. If it was like a white guy and he's like, I thought it was my taser, we would have been like, fuck you.
But no, people are buying it with her.
Sort of, yeah. I think people are like, yeah, she thought she was tasing him.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what girls are like.
You know a girl, she's probably on her period. That's what it was.
Oh,
Probably
no.
had lots of stuff in her purse.
You know what those purses are loaded
She probably
with.
had her Spanx on too tight.
It was a purse issue, as Jim says. It was just, oh shit, I thought that was my hairspray, but it was a revolver.
It is kind of sad to just watch America because, like,
I
they
like
had
it.
how many mass shootings last week? 6
Think
or
about
7?
how fucking boring the world would be without America.
Oh, it would be boring.
If we were just sitting here talking about, did you hear what happened in the Ukraine with that vote on the school board? Like, we need America to be a train wreck. They're so fun, like especially during a pandemic.
They are. They're that fun. They're like the celebrity. They're like the Britney Spears of the world, where
They are.
everyone
They're
just
the
is following
Kardashian.
them.
It's Kardashian land.
Yeah, it's
where
Kardashian
we get to be
land.
like, oh my God, did you see her hair? Did you see America's hair last
It
night?
was gross.
Did you see what America was wearing yesterday?
America put
That's
a
our whole
picture
life now,
online,
just-
and it was very retouched. It was disgusting. It was crazy.
It was disgusting.
It didn't even look like her. No, I think it's like, but nothing's changing though. Like there were so many mass shootings on last week, and then there were 2 more black men murdered by cops. You know, and it's not.
One was a child.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One was a
it's
child. Like
just-
it's just like no, nobody there is learning, and as much as you know.
And how would you like to be a cop? And I mean, I know I keep coming back to this, and I agree with everything you're saying.
I don't think people
But I'm
should
thinking,
be-
like, how hard is it to be a cop when half of the country hates you
Yeah.
because they are left of center,
Yeah.
and they believe that you motherfucker are out to get us, and you're a piece of shit, and fuck you, you ex-jock loser, like. And then the other half of the country thinks that you stand with tyranny, like, like all the COVID vaccinations and enforcement of those policies. So 30% of the right hates you.
Yeah.
50% of the left hates you. Like, no, like they've got 20% left.
Nobody
of, like,
should want-
right-wing people that are like, I trust and respect the police. And then anything past that on the right thinks that, like, you're out there enforcing the rules of a tyrannical fucking regime who's trying to come here and start a new world order. And I won't fucking have it. Not in my condo.
Nobody.
You better keep that shit outside of my condo. Okay, Rick,
is
you
a
can have your
pop-free
80
zone.
feet. You have your 80 square feet, Rick. We'll fucking quarantine the rest of the world. No, that's why I have a gun in my little tiny house to protect my little tiny house and my little tiny things and my little tiny family.
And my little
You're having a
tiny
huge
ear.
impact. You're fucking taking care of that 1,000 square foot bungalow, walking around, reading the paper, getting angry. People are so stupid. And they think they
People
go
are
online
stupid.
and they're having an impact. Those are the people
Oh,
that
those are
drive
the
me the
worst
fucking
ones.
craziest.
They think that they're every day they've got 8 statuses about things that other people should do to change, and they've done nothing but sit.
And they think
behind
that they're
the
having an
screen.
impact. They're like,
not.
well, they're starting to get worried
Ugh.
about me. I got banned from Twitter because they started to notice. Who started to notice? You have 15,000 like-minded fucking idiots.
Yeah.
It's like when comedians, like there's comedians that'll do, their act is garbage or whatever, and it's like, yeah, but if you ever got big, have fun with your fans.
Yeah.
Have fun with those
You would
fucking
have the
losers.
worst fans
So if you're
ever.
the guy on Twitter who's posting misinformation about vaccines and you think you're a fucking genius and I'm just out here changing minds, you've changed nobody's mind.
No.
Be quiet. Relax.
I don't
Go to
think-
sleep. Have a fucking nap.
I don't think anyone on social media has ever changed anyone's mind. In fact, I think they just make other people more angry and more like, I'm not going to believe what this person believes because they're fucking annoying.
It's the dumbest. Oh, I heard a rumor in my town
Yeah.
about COVID where like a man who was married,
Mm-hmm.
had 2 kids, fun life, fun wife,
Woo.
and he got COVID. God
Oh.
bless.
Oh, dear.
He got Cove, the OG
OG.
Cove. I think it was OG COVID. And
OG.
his wife got it, his 2 kids got it, and then as part of the you have to give them a list of everybody you've had contact with.
Yeah.
During the process of that, he confirmed that he had an affair. He had sex with a woman in a hotel room that wasn't
Good for
his
him for
wife.
being that honest.
Shut the
because
fuck up.
That's
Shut the
that's
fuck up.
crazy. that he actually was that honest.
No.
That's crazy that he.
Wow.
You don't have to, dude. Like when I heard about that, I was like, dude, you don't have to help us trace this back to the fucking bat
No.
that started it all.
No.
Just relax. You can skip somebody if it's gonna destroy your life.
Yeah, that's crazy
You know what I mean?
that he.
You're allowed to. I'd be like, if they were like, who did you see outside your bubble? I'd be like, well, there was the guy at Sev who I bought the condoms off of. There was the Uber driver who took me to the hotel, and then I believe that was it.
There was my side.
I do believe that was all. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just call, like.
That's the most honest man in the world, because most people are like even if they have to call everybody, they're like, I don't remember what I did or who I was with. Like, okay.
That's what you're supposed to say.
Yeah.
Of course, you remember very vividly that you cheated on your wife at the Motel 6 2 days earlier. But
Oh
even
my
like
God.
as far as like calls,
Was he hot?
Do it privately. Why does the government need to know? Why does your wife call the woman
Yeah.
privately?
Yeah.
And say you need to get tested.
And
Don't
just
worry, it's
go
one of
around
the
and
easy
say-
ones. COVID.
Yeah.
It's way.
Yeah, it's not any STD.
There's a way
it's
lighter
COVID.
tone to that call than there is, say, an AIDS chat. If you have to have a little AIDS chat.
Hey, are you sitting down?
Hey, are you resting?
You got AIDS.
Hey, do you feel tired all the time? Okay, bye.
I've just answered your queries.
Yeah.
You've got AIDS.
You might have AIDS. Never say you have AIDS.
No.
So then, yeah, but just tell her
that's.
Tell her, hey, look, you need to get tested. I don't know if you gave it to me or I gave it to
Yeah.
you, but I have COVID now. So does my whole family. I
And you
forgot to
gotta
tell you
tell
about
your
them.
people, yeah.
But they're alive and real and
I forgot to tell you about
You
them.
had to reveal both sides.
I know. He has to tell both
Oh, that
parties.
guy.
Yeah, and then so he, just
Are they
call
still
her.
together?
I don't know that part, but just give the lady that you cheated with a call privately and say, hey, I have COVID. You need to get tested for COVID and gonorrhea as well, just to be safe.
Just to be safe.
I might also have that.
Get the
but
full.
Get the panel.
full
Ask for the
panel.
panel.
Get the full panel.
Go in there and say panel.
God knows.
Walk up to the front desk at the
I've
clinic
been
and say,
married
give
for-
me the panel.
I've been married for 14 years. God knows what kind of.
Give me the
diseases
full
I have.
pussy blood workup. Drain a liter of pussy blood and run it through the courses.
My poor neighbor.
Put it in every beaker.
My poor neighbor.
Put it in every beaker and shake your head or nod your head when you shake it. Is that how you test for AIDS? Blood in a beaker, shake it, and cough.
Blood in a beaker. Yeah.
No,
that man,
tell her, yeah.
Hopefully that man gets some sort of I hope he gets some karma points or something for being that dumb and honest. Because that's
No.
insane. That
Promise
he's
the woman, just say I'll buy you inhalers for life if you leave my name off your list. If you get you're giving
That's expensive.
You're giving yourself the longest COVID possible.
Yeah.
That is the longest COVID. living in your dad's basement, paying child support. That's real long COVID.
Oh my God.
Fuck, I have no money, but I can go up a flight of stairs, no problem. It just seemed like the dumbest thing I'd ever heard, but apparently it is real.
Well, I'm sure it's real. I'm sure there have been many dumb people out there that have done stupid stuff like that. But I'm very honest. I'm not good at lying. When I got caught at the border, I was just I could not
Yeah.
It was just I'm not good at that. I'm not a good liar.
Well, I'm not a good liar either, but you put an AHS employee in front of me and they say, provide me a list of people that you've spoken with outside of your bubble. I'm not going to be there was a girl also on Tuesday. Her name was Francine. Yeah, Francine McDermott. 2 T's. What is that AHS employee going to say? When I go, no, I didn't see anybody, is she going to be like, I know you're lying?
Yeah.
You don't fucking know me.
No,
How do
they
you
hook
know?
you up to a lie detector.
Yeah, they're
during your
like,
COVID
it looks like you were lying
interrogation.
during your COVID interrogation. We have a few inconsistencies we need to discuss on your fucking COVID lie detector test.
You just get Maury Povich to come in and be like,
Apparently
that
was
was a lie. That was a lie.
Who else have you seen? I don't know.
That's
Who
also
brought COVID into this fucking house?
It's also some dumb, I'm not gonna say because I'll get hate for it, but just a not intelligent male that probably might work in the trades that just doesn't.
The funny thing is, we probably get what? How many people listen to this per episode?
12.
Yeah, like 100.
Is it
150?
And he said that like it's trending down.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not gonna lie to you. He didn't say 150 like positively, like sometimes it's 160. He said 150, like we're hanging in there.
It's barely getting.
The numbers are going down.
And most of them just listen for 5 minutes and then stop.
I didn't want to tell you guys, but it's that arrow's going down.
The
third wave.
To tell us that nobody listens to this because
there is no third wave of this podcast.
Because all we do is talk about suicide. He's too scared to tell us that no one likes us.
Yeah.
Well, I'd bring it. I was going to bring it up tonight, but they wouldn't stop talking about killing themselves.
He doesn't want that beaker of blood on his hands.
Drain that pussy blood into this beaker. Test me for AIDS and gonorrhea, COVID.
You should write jingles for the radio.
I should really. Why don't I have a career?
Why don't you have a career?
At all?
Why don't you write some jingles and sell them to fellow podcasters?
You know, that's a good one.
Crystal glass.
Yeah, oh my
name
God,
rhymes
dude.
with ass.
There's nothing funnier. I got to tell you, I don't listen to any good podcasts.
No, because why
love
would you?
terrible podcasts. It's one of my favorite things.
I
terrible
mostly
comedy
listen
podcasts.
to just like murder podcasts, but yeah.
There's this one guy who is a New York Yankees fan, and he just does New York Yankees post-game rants in his windy backyard after every game, and they're each 3 minutes long, and I watch them because he only gets like 14 views, but he talks to the camera like, "Hey, what's up, Yankee fans? Well, as you know, tonight, Aaron Judge, why is he hitting third? He's not a fucking number 3 hitter." Like, and it gets 14 views. He's in his yard. His dog is talking. His wife is like, "Frank."
That's so awesome.
It's
though.
just
How
fun.
do you find the bad ones? You look for low rated.
You just got to know where to look. You know, like, and for comedy podcasts, the best is when people will like they think comedy podcasts should immediately be lucrative.
Oh yeah, no.
Like they start
because
out
they think like,
loaded
Joe
with
Rogan.
ads. Yeah, they do segments, but the segments are like the segments are just an excuse to generate revenue.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when you watch a sports show and it's like, now it's time for the hit of the week, brought to you by, and it's like, well, why couldn't you just fucking said, look at this big hit.
Yeah.
You didn't need to make it the fucking hit of the week brought to you by Toyota. So then there's podcasts that are just like, that's what they do. Like, it's like, let's go into Monday Rewind. And then they go, brought to you by, and it's like, if I'm what is the sense of a podcast? A podcast is like people that are tired of radio. And so it's like, I'm going to listen to a podcast because it's at least it's like people just talking. And if they're going to do ads, they're going to have them in a specific block that I can just fast forward.
Yeah.
And everybody wins.
Yeah.
But when you try to like blend radio with podcasting to generate revenue for your podcast, and it's like,
it's not
now
radio.
I don't know what you're talking about because you're like, oh, let's talk about something that's just totally organic.
Yeah.
It's like the Jason Greger show. Like you listen to that, you would think like, oh, cool, I'm just listening to people that are like, no, a lot of them are paying to be on it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now we're going to Jimmy's Corner to talk about fucking just how to stay in shape down at the gym. And then they have like what seems to be an organic conversation about staying in shape, but the guy paid $500 for that fucking 5-minute hit or whatever. Yeah. So people don't really know that. And then Gregor will be like, I love staying in shape. This segment brought to you by e-cig. Are you looking for a locally extracted liquid cigarette?
I love staying in shape and dirtying up my lungs.
So I just love the grift, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of the grift and shills and people that like try to blend it in and it just doesn't fit. You know, like Gregor is like, 1 minute somebody's paying $500 for a segment on how to fucking stay in shape using CrossFit and drinking plenty of water, and then the segment is brought to you by a liquid vapor that you burn into your fucking lungs until your lungs turn into a glass material that you could fucking use to christen a vessel.
But those like radio guys get like money and free stuff. I'd do it. Like if somebody came to us and was like, hey,
I don't know.
if we give you $500
but you
a
couldn't
week.
do it in a way that was like where you made it seem like it was yours.
No,
like,
ask Northern Queen
hey,
how
Kathleen.
happy they are with our ads.
Well,
I was gonna say you forget to do it.
we jam it in at the end.
Hey,
we forgot to get a.
Thanks a lot. No.
We forgot to get a scratch and win and Northern Queen and bite.
But I do love Northern Queen.
It is fucking good.
It
Without
is
it,
fucking
we would
good.
be less high.
We would be less fun.
Less high.
Less high.
And fun.
And fun.
What
But
the
yeah,
fuck
no.
would I do without drugs? I don't even know what my life would be like without it.
It would
I
be
don't
fun.
even want to fucking
That's why when
contemplate
people are like, I'll be like, maybe I'll get sober, but not only the liquid sober. I want to still be able to. You have to be able to still fuck yourself up once in a while.
Weed is different than booze for sure because if you think about it, when marijuana was legalized, the gray market, the black market, still retained like 75. That was the big miscalculation of legalizing marijuana, is that 75% of the market was still the black market.
Yeah.
People still were like, okay, cool, you've got government weed,
But it sucks.
but I want my black. Nobody, like during Prohibition, when they suddenly said, okay, now you can sell alcohol again, nobody was like, go fuck yourself, liquor store.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with my moonshine trailer guy named Bill, who just puts potatoes in a fucking boot.
Maybe
for
they
a year.
did for a while. Like I don't know
I don't
what
think
the
so.
history
But
is
weed,
of Prohibition
we love
and
weed.
stuff.
We
but
love our guy who makes the thing.
Yeah.
You know, we love it.
We love it.
And Northern Queen is that for me, where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I know that this stuff is just for real.
It tastes good and it's always consistent. I eat before I go to bed. I like eat a gummy and then I just doze off and it's the best. Last night so this is the problem though with getting high and falling asleep. So I was watching Law and Order, and I'm now on the seasons, like I think it's season 18 that I'm on now. I started at 14. I didn't start at 1. But I started what's going on? Sorry. I'm just
Is somebody here?
Oh, I thought somebody was here.
Okay.
But so I'm on this episode, and now Jeremy Sisto is one of the detectives. You know Jeremy Sisto? He was in Clueless. I don't know. He's an okay
Is he
actor.
hot?
Huh?
Is he a cute guy?
He's got a look. I don't know
Yeah,
if he's
got a look.
attractive
That's
to
the
everyone.
worst thing you can say about an attractive person. She has an odor.
But
Does she stink? She has an odor.
But my thing with Law and Order though is like this is how I feel like every time you see somebody guest starring that's not famous, you always watch that and you're like, this person has been grinding it out in New York and all of their family is now gathered around to see them play a crack whore, and this is the biggest day of their life. Like I'm watching this
and the only guy watching that show and his family in the fucking house where he grew up in, they're all gathered around that TV, and the only person not smiling watching that person on screen is the guy who gives him $800 a month to cover expenses and has been doing so for 15 years.
Exactly.
It's always like the mom or the dad who's like, yeah, fucking 3 words.
Yeah.
15 years I've been giving that guy $800 a month. And then he's been talking about this on Twitter for 6 months. He has 3 words. He looks at a dead girl and goes, "Whoa, look out."
That's my favorite when people are like, that's my favorite when people like have viewing parties for like their 3-word debut.
Yeah.
But
Oh my God, it's great.
But the acting is getting a little bit. So Jeremy Sisto, I wouldn't say he's one of the better actors out there. Like he's good,
Yeah.
but they also don't have great scripts. Like so, I will say and then I'll play it. But like, okay, this is what it sounded like to me. He was like, "You want to know how she was killed?
How?
Rocks,
Huh?
a lot of them."
Wow.
Like you're just watching this and you're like, oh, this scene was shot at the end of the day and he was tired and all. Okay, but
Rocks, a lot
it
of
just
them.
sounds really funny. Hold on.
What happened? How
Let me-
did the person die?
She was stoned to death.
What?
Yeah.
Really? For like adultery or something
I can't
legitimate?
remember why she was stoned to death, but let me play what it sounds like, and I think it's really funny. But I was also very high at the time.
He was killed. Rocks. Lots of them.
Rocks. Lots of them.
But you have to watch it too. Like watch his rocks, lots of them.
Oh my God.
It's
Rocks. Lots of them.
it's just like a really like.
That is great.
There's
Rocks.
like some points in Law and Order where it's like you're just like I don't know.
That guy was in 6 Feet Under too.
Oh yeah, he
was
was in
the
6 Feet Under.
boyfriend
That's a
in
good
6
show.
Feet Under.
He's
That
not
was
a bad
good.
actor, but I don't think they have like the greatest like words to speak.
Well, anybody who thinks like that's a bad script should write a script.
Oh,
Is it? I mean,
that's
I know.
why I don't like saying that he's a bad actor or that it's a bad script because I know how difficult it is to do that kind of stuff. Because they cut away, and I feel like when he goes, lots of them. He said that like a million times. He was just tired of it. Because when I never knew, like when you're a kid, you think, okay, so they make a movie, they just film it. It's like
They make it up.
they just like do it in order and they film it and blah blah blah. But I remember when first time I ever did anything like with film, I didn't I had no idea like how many times they have to shoot one scene because they got to shoot it from this side and this side and this side. I'm like, this is so fucking awful and boring. Like, they deserve to get paid what they get paid, which isn't even that much.
Why are we filming the funeral scene today? That's at the end. The viewer's gonna be so confused.
I was so stupid. I'm like, why are we doing this out of order?
How's the viewer gonna know? This is insane.
Yeah, but I was laughing so hard at that, and I posted it on my social, and I thought everyone would love it, and nobody gave a fuck.
It's like when I post listen to the next episode of Dead Baby Bear on Facebook, and I'll get like fucking Jim and Jim's other account. Jim and Jim's fucking burner Facebook account. I get 2 likes. They're both from Jim, but it looks good.
Hey, he's our producer. He's got to love us.
He's just like, let me just try. Let's just try. They're going to kill themselves.
We're all holding on to this, hoping that one day this will become something, but because stand-up comedy is dead as we know it.
No, it ain't. Zoom's taken off.
Oh.
People are zooming it up. People are doing backyard. It's time for more backyard shows to happen.
Yeah.
You know, around the fire with 10 people looking at you quizzically.
Yeah.
And shifting in their lawn chair, and you can hear that creak. You can hear that, and you're like, oh my God, this joke usually does good. But all I can hear is creaky lawn chairs.
I've just been asked recently so much, so how's comedy? I'm like, it doesn't exist. I was at the bank today. I finally got my Sound Exchange check. I was depositing my check, and then he's like, what's the score? So I had to explain, and then he goes, so how is comedy? I'm like, it doesn't exist.
Well, then how'd you get this check, bitch?
I'm just like fed up. I'm fed up with everything. I'm fed up with people coming into restaurants and wanting to dine on I think a couple figured that I was working today, and I was like, are you taking out, or would you like to dine on the tiny patio? And they're like, oh, we want to eat on the patio. And I was just like, ugh. And they're like, is that an issue? I'm like, oh, no, it's not an issue in the middle of a pandemic. And but they said, oh, you laughed a little bit. I'm like, oh, it's because last week some people, it was 2 degrees, and they all insisted on sitting on the patio. And I was like, how desperate are you to be out and in a restaurant that you will sit on a patio when it's 2 degrees Celsius out and your food is ice cold 2 seconds after you get it? But everybody's like, I gotta do this. I gotta live my real life. I'm so tired. I want everything to shut down for a month.
No. You just
I want it to shut down I want the police to be going up and down the street with machine guns, and if you step outside of your house for anything other than groceries or exercise, you are mowed down, because I'm done with it. I'm done with people being
mowed down.
I'm so tired of people being like, oh, the government's controlling us. I'm like, isn't it sad that you're an adult? So you want the government to step in and start executing people? Yes, I want the government to step in and start executing people.
No, because then you fucking prove them right.
Yeah, but
then they get to be like, you useful idiot!
No.
You useful idiots! They fucking allow tyranny on our streets! And you're like, Tank, get that guy.
All the people that are behaving like there is no pandemic, yes, execute them. I have no problem saying that. Because I'm so sick and tired of listening to people bitch and complain. It's like, for an entire year, some people have actually been trying to do their best. Even if you try to do your best, but when you're going out with groups of 8 people, and you're like, I just need my social, and I'm like, I fucking hate you.
No.
I fucking hate
No, Kathleen, you just need to 25 more milligrams of whatever you're taking. Your antidepressants have plateaued.
Yeah, I need to figure something out.
Just take a handful of Zoloft every day.
I don't care anymore about people's feelings. I don't. Everybody can go fuck themselves. We're gonna be wearing masks until the end of next year for sure. It's already a bylaw in Edmonton until December 31st, and people are still just behaving like wieners. I'm just I don't know what to do. I would love to see it shut down. And also, how sad is it that if you are all like, ooh, the government can't tell me what to do, that you are an adult, that you need the government to tell you that you're being stupid? How sad is it that there are so many adult humans in the world that actually need the police to be like, you can't go there, you can't do that, you need to put a mask on? What are you, in preschool?
That's, yeah, I mean,
I'm just, all these people that are complaining about stuff, you're a child.
People,
Grow the fuck up.
Well, yeah, let's not.
You're just like your pussy of a grandfather that didn't die in the war.
It's like, let's not conflate freedom with inconvenience,
yes.
right? It's like, okay, you're being inconvenienced and you're going to jump immediately to freedom. Like, fuck off. That's what pisses me off, where it's like, you're being mildly inconvenienced. And you're going to act like this is an imposition that is similar to what fucking England went through in the late 30s and early 40s. Yeah. Let's be real here. Yeah. You're being asked to wear a fucking mask and keep social distance and not have like a Christmas dinner. Yeah. It's not the end of the fucking world, you little baby.
We're not all traumatized children. Grow the fuck up.
You don't have to immediately go to tyranny.
Maybe I should run
act like you're a fucking healer. And
maybe I should run for mayor of Edmonton, and my whole slogan is "Grow the fuck up." I'm not gonna police you. You grow the fuck up. You're an adult. Behave like a fucking adult. Care about the people around you.
But seriously, I do think that you should up your dosage.
I need to. I think I'm going crazy.
Because people aren't going to change, so your dosage has to.
No, that's so stupid.
So when people won't change, you need to be on more drugs, so that those people seem less annoying in your weird fucking brain. You know, I've only ever taken Zoloft. I'm either just on it or off it. That's my program. I'm on it and then I'm off it. That's it. I've never taken a different one. I've never tried a different one.
On and off stuff.
You can go off and on a lot of things.
It'll be bad for you.
So I do that. But then I realized, like, I've ever since I was a kid, whenever I go to Subway, I just get a cold cut combo. Since I was like a child, like I never do anything different.
You never tried anything different.
Zoloft, cold cut combo.
Chicken fingers. Are you a chicken fingers guy? When you go to any restaurant, you're like, I don't even need to look at the menu. I'll just have whatever you're supplying for chicken fingers.
Well, and here's what makes me a crazy person is I don't just like I'm a bacon cheeseburger. If I go to like a restaurant, I'm having a bacon cheeseburger with fries and gravy. Yeah, that's your go-to
every
time. That's what I'm going to get every time.
Yeah, so that's your chicken fingers.
But I still look at the menu. I look through the entire menu as if
you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, as if something else might strike my fancy. But then when a waitress is there, I'm like, I'll get the bacon. I'll get the bacon cheddar burger with fries, and then I wait for them to say gravy, and then I go, yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Why not?
I let them bring up gravy. I'm gonna let you bring up gravy so that when I say I want gravy, I can fucking.
You can be like,
seem like less of a pig.
I guess yes. Please give me some congealed fat and flour.
You guys have gravy? No, we're a restaurant without gravy. You fat fuck.
I love gravy though. Gravy's good.
It is pretty good.
But there's some gravies out there that are not equal. Would you like a?
What is that?
It's a 5 milligram hard candy. They're really good. I had them the other night when I was on a podcast.
You're still cheating on this podcast.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to call you if that one gives me COVID.
Contact tracing ends here. So he just needed a friend to go put his hand over his shoulder and go, dude, you don't have to go. We're not trying to fucking find the name of the fucking monkey who gave it to us.
Did you see the South Park? Like they had a pandemic special and the vaccination special.
No.
And the pandemic special, they explained that COVID is here because Randy Marsh fucked a bat.
Randy Marsh.
He went over to China and fucked a bat. He's with Mickey Mouse.
So they turned it into an STI?
Yeah. They said that Randy Marsh caught it from a bat and brought it, but he was going around China with Mickey Mouse. And Mickey Mouse. Then they found out that it wasn't from a bat. It was from it looks like an armadillo, but it's a different name.
Yeah, pangolin or something?
A pangolin. And then and they show Randy.
Pangolin sounds cute, doesn't it?
He's like, don't worry, you didn't get it. It wasn't from a bat, it was from a pangolin. And then Randy Marsh is like, I fucked a pangolin. They show fucking pangolin. Oh my god. Like, I just want South Park to be my news.
Yeah.
I just want South Park to, like, tell me all the news. I don't...
Yeah. How can you be depressed when you get all your information from a fucking cartoon?
But they tell it like it honestly.
Everybody thinks that they tell, like, I go to the source where it's real.
Oh, yeah.
South Park. But then if you're like, if you're crazy far right, you're going to be like, South Park's dumb.
Mm. No, it's not. I bet you the far right likes it.
They might.
Dumb far right people that don't know that they're being made fun of.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
I was going to do like, did you ever... I was going to tell a story about, because I was just I thought about this the other day because I saw somebody wearing a fucking name tag with Sharpie on it, and it kind of brought me back to like the first corporate I ever did.
Okay.
I got booked by the comic strip to do it, and I was like just like I don't know, maybe 3 years in or something like that. And the comic strip was like, hey, do you want to do a corporate? And I'm like, what's a corporate? What's a corporate? And they were like, it's when you do comedy for actual money. And I was like, is it terrible? And they're like, the worst.
You're going to hate it.
The only way to make money doing this is doing the worst thing. It's like if you were like, I want to work in a bank. And they were like, okay, but the only job that pays is in the pit. And you're like, I didn't know there was a pit in here.
Money pit.
They're like, it's filled with grease and we need you to clean it. And it's really the only job above minimum wage. Welcome to banking. So like, I show up for this and I'm wearing like a fucking, collared shirt and like feeling good about myself. It's a Christmas party. It's like a banquet room downtown. I'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
And then I show up, and your instinct is to go and hang out with the other people that are being paid to be there, because the strangers that are having fun don't seem like they have anything in common with you. But you look at a DJ and a bartender, and you're like, I'm gonna go hang out with those guys because they look like they're also having the worst time of their lives. And then I asked, like, where's Kathy? She's the contact, the wife of the owner.
Tyler's gonna have an issue with that crunching.
Anyway. Tyler is gonna fucking hate the crunch.
Tyler knows who he is, but we appreciate all of your construction.
I couldn't listen with all the crunching.
We enjoyed
in the microphone.
Okay, sorry, I totally cut you off. Sorry.
So I find Kathy, the lady, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Sean, the comedian," and she's like, "Shut the fuck up! Don't say you're a comedian. You're a surprise." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then she gives me a sticker that says Sean on it, spelled like SHAWN.
Oh, that's the worst spelling of Sean.
Name tag.
Yeah.
So she puts a Sean name tag on me, and she's like, "You work at the Calgary office." So she's like invented a character for me. She's like, "You work at the warehouse in the Calgary office, and your name is Sean, and you just started there. And I just want you to go around to all the tables and just." And I'm like, "Oh, just do comedy at the tables?" And she's like, no, like pretend that you work at our Calgary office and go around to the tables and just kind of run a goof on them.
Did Dino give you this gig as a joke?
Well, he didn't know.
No,
so it's like, just run a goof on every so she wants me to go around and like table to table and pretend I work at the Calgary office and like joke around as this character.
And never do a show? Just go around to tables?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, do you want me to do a show later? And she's like, a show? For what? And I'm like a stand-up comedy show? And she's like, well, I guess we could.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, oh, my fuck. So then I go, and to me, it's like, this is the first time I've ever made any money doing stand-up. So I'm like, well, I guess I just have to roll with this. Like,
and you're new, and you don't want to fuck it up, and you don't want, it's your first corporate, so you're just like,
yeah,
I guess like, this is what a corporate is.
Every other show I'd ever done paid maximum $50, and then this show paid $1,000.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm getting $1,000 tonight.
I better not fuck this up.
So I basically, I stand next to a table. I would stand near people so that I could interject at some point, and I would stare at the woman who organized it, Kathy, and every time she kind of like looked my way, I would jump into the conversation and like make it look like so she thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. And then I would just keep an eye on her, and as soon as she looked away, and she was quite busy like doing other shit. It was like a huge Christmas party. And then but the people that I'm talking to, I'm like, "Hey, I'm Sean. I work down at the Calgary office." And they're like, "No, you don't. I work there." And I'm like, "Oh,
I'm new.
I just started."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you didn't. I do the hiring." and now I move to and then I'm like, "Yeah!" And then I leave. And then I go to another table. But now that table is very suspicious of who the fuck I am now, right?
Yeah, you're
nothing funny happened. I was just a guy who was pretending to work there. So they start looking at me like, "What's this fucking guy doing?" That guy doesn't fucking work here.
I still don't understand. What did she just wanted you to converse and maybe be funny when you were conversing?
She wanted me to pretend I worked at the Calgary office and be funny and be like.
Was there an end game to
and
this?
be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, but I thought like, oh, I'm in Edmonton, so this is all Edmonton people, so I can be like, I work down in Calgary, and they could be like, oh, cool, how's things down in Calgary? Well, let me tell you something. There's a lot of problems down there. Like, so I thought I could maybe do that once or twice if I needed to. But everybody I talked to, there was one person at the table's like, what do you mean Calgary? I work in Calgary. When did you start? So I do this about 2 or 3 tables where all of a sudden there's like a lot of people are suspicious. Suspicion of me is building. Nothing funny has happened.
Yeah.
No one has laughed.
Yeah.
And then the Kathy lady comes up to me and she's like, well, I guess whatever you're doing isn't working. So I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
It was your bright idea, Kathy.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh my God.
But then I see her hauling boxes up. She's like, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about doing the pretending or whatever. And I'm like, well, do you want me to do a show later? And she's like, well, maybe. Like, I guess. And I'm like, okay. And then she starts hauling boxes of merchandise upstairs because everybody's getting jackets and fucking gloves and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, do you want me to help you bring that stuff up? And she's like, well, you might as well fucking do something. And I'm like, oh my God.
Whoa.
This is comedy?
You know what? A bigger dick would have been like, perfect. I'll do this and then, I'll just sit here and eat your buffet.
Yeah, but I can't.
But you're too honest.
I was straight. Yeah, it's a little dick energy.
Little dick energy. Sean, you gotta get some big dick energy. You gotta.
You were a bigger dick.
Yeah.
Sean, just
I got
like
a lot of little dick energy, Kathleen.
just like what is it called? What is it called when you picture something and it comes true? What is it called? Manifest. Manifest this dick. Manifest this dick.
Okay. So I start helping this lady bring boxes of jackets upstairs. And I can hear her talking about me to other people, like, oh, and he's not fucking doing anything. And I'm like, oh my God. And then at some point she's like, okay. And then she goes on stage, she starts giving away the jackets. She's like, okay, well, I get there was a guy who was supposed to be doing something funny, but he's just going to do like his show right now. And then I get on stage and now I'm trying to entertain people that I just lied to. They're like, this guy, what the fuck?
I thought he worked in Calgary. Now
he doesn't work
in.
He's a what?
You should have gone off on Kathy and be like, this is Kathy's fault.
And I didn't have those tools in my box at that time. I did not. I had fucking tiny testicle energy. So I just like, hey everybody, what's up with geese? Like I did like.
Were you by yourself or was there another?
By
comic?
myself.
Oh my God.
So then, but here's the thing: there was the banquet room that I was in, and everybody was in front of me. But right behind me was the other half of the banquet room with the bar.
Yeah.
So everybody just starts getting up and going to the bar. She's like, oh yeah, everybody, like you can either watch him or go get a drink.
Oh wow.
And
That's a great intro.
So people are streaming out. I get about 3 minutes in and now no one is there. No one is in front of me. Everyone is behind me at the bar.
Oh my God.
0 people. And then the owner... I turn around and I'm like, well, and I just start doing comedy like to them, like I turn around and I can still see them. And so I start doing comedy to them at the bar and they're like, and then somebody's like, turn it down. I can't fucking hear. I'm trying to talk to. So now they're asking to turn me down so that they can have a conversation. And then the owner looks at the DJ and then the DJ like turns me down to like 2.
Can you imagine someone like Andrew Gross being like walking into a corporate and then saying he would have been like, "Go fuck yourself."
And then I finished that. I finished doing my 10-minute whatever thing, and I'm like, "Well, this is like the biggest disaster of my life." And then I walk up to her and I'm like, "Look, I'm really sorry about how everything turned out, but I mean, it was just impossible.
Yeah.
It was an impossible." But that's why people don't like doing corporates because somebody has an idea.
Yeah.
Somebody has an idea.
Is,
and this lady had an idea that they were going to bring a comedian in. He was going to pretend to work at the thing. And she in her world, I failed. Yeah. And it's like, no. You don't understand some basic structures of how comedy works. If I'm going to go somewhere and pretend that I'm someone else from somewhere else, you can't have other people. You can't have me try to fool the people that fucking work at the fake place I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
So she blames me. She's like, So I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry that was a disaster, but I you know, what chance did I have? And she's like, well, we're gonna have to work out a new price because that's ridiculous, obviously.
Fuck off.
And I'm like, oh my god. And then so she leaves. Then the owner walks up to me and he's like, and he hated it too. And but he's like he's got his checkbook out.
Yeah.
At his table. So he waves me over and he's like, how much was that shit?
2,000.
And I was like, well, the agreed upon price was $1,000. And I said it like, you know, like it was actually 1,000.
You were shocked that you were asking for
yeah,
that.
I'm like, I'm asking for $1,000 for like me, just a disaster.
Yeah.
And then he goes, fuck. It's like my wife and her fucking ideas. And then he writes out a check for $1,000 and he gives it to me. And then as I'm leaving, the lady is there and she's like, I'll talk to you on Monday. And I'm like, yeah, we'll just, you know, we'll work something out on Monday.
Never again talk to me.
And then I fucking walked across the street to a CIBC and fucking
Cashed it right away.
And then called Dino and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. And he's like, dude, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and that's when it kind of clicked. Like, oh, when it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you've got to go into this meat grinder for like of a situation for 2 to 3 hours.
As long as you leave with
but
the
when
check.
it's over, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll never see those people again. They'll never see you again. 10 years from now, they'll be like, who was that fucking guy that one year? Who was that? I don't know. Anyway, this fat young guy comes in, can't even pretend to be from a different town. Every time he said, I'm from Calgary, you just knew it. Looking into his eyes, you're like, you're a fucking liar. Don't lie to
like
me.
A Calgary
I'm
man.
a COVID contact tracer. So that's what happened.
Oh
that was
my
weird.
God.
That's weird though. But all that did happen.
That is weird.
All that did happen. But my vivid memory of that is like watching her, and then as soon as then once in a while you would just see her looking to see what I was doing, and then when she made that face, like when her head started weaving, like where's that fucking guy who's supposed to do an impossible comedy job?
Don't you remember that one thing I booked? It was a Christmas party, and my friend was like, I really want you to headline. I'm like, I shouldn't. Like, I can bring others. I really want you. You'll be so great. You'll be so great. So I brought you, and I brought Kelly Dacus, and I think Dacus hosted. And then I went up, and like you gotta tell from your perspective, because I was on stage, and all I could see was people running around trying to, how do we stop her? I was so
Oh yeah, I think somebody just came up to
They did
us and
not
they were
like
like,
me.
well, you got to get her off of there.
I told them.
And I was like, we're not doing that. Like, we're not going to get her off of there.
I didn't somebody come up though, because I was
think at some point,
bombing
yeah.
so hard, but I told them a million times. I'm like, you don't want me for your Christmas party. I was like,
I don't think it's not like
I was like 2 years into comedy, and all my jokes are about buying vibrators in bulk and stuff like that.
and
It
it's
was
not like it's not like we killed.
No.
Like we probably did. I mean, I don't remember it, but I'm sure that I
No,
probably
but they
did
actually
terrible.
liked you guys because you were. But I had zero, not even an inch of clean material. It was just all dicks and fucking and cum and.
Well, and it was like a fucking Christmas party at some bar, right?
Yeah, it was at Rosario's.
Like,
I'll never forget it. It was so bad. I don't even remember who that friend was. But
corporates
I
are
was
usually the reason that, like, I mean, I guess it's boring to talk about corporate comedy for listeners, but I guess
No,
we don't
I'm
have
sure
enough
they-
of them to fucking.
That was a pretty fucking funny story.
Yeah, that was.
But like,
did it.
but like with corporates, it's a very awful mix, generally
Yeah.
speaking, because you usually have like an oil and gas husband and a Christian wife.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh fuck, we love it, balls to
Yeah.
the wall, and then you get there, and half of the audience
Or-
thinks that you're going to do something extraordinarily clean,
Yeah.
and if you can't, then you're a failure.
Yeah.
So it's like, who am I playing to here? The guys only want to hear the smut, and
Yeah.
I could do street jokes, and they'd love it. You know?
Yeah.
But the women are like, oh, gross.
I just never did them unless I said, "Can I do my regular act?" If I can't do my regular act, don't book me, because I'm not. I should not do it. Like, and this was like a long time ago. I could do like 10 minutes now at a corporate.
And for me, when I do like corporates, I usually have women liking me more than men. Like
Yeah.
the guys think I'm kind of boring, and the women are like, oh, he was pretty good.
Mhm.
But it's usually the guys that are like, oh,
It's that
fuck,
big dick
kinda-
energy
who's that
you've
fucking? That
got
guy's kind
now."
of boring. That's that new big dick energy I got.
Is that new big dick?
You don't
energy
need
smell?
a big dick to have big dick energy. Did he have a big? Did he have a big dick? He did.
Medium dick energy. I was a little tired in the middle of it.
Oh, gross.
I went on a little bit too long.
So you're tired of working. You need to, but you're on the fucking you're on the juice. You're on the ADHD juice still.
Oh yeah, I'm still.
You're
on
killing
that.
it.
Shoot, I'm killing it. I just want my own goat farm, and I just want to go away.
No, you don't, Kathleen. You want to get into the middle of downtown.
No, I just
jump into an anti-mask rally.
No,
and
I want my
fight for your
acreage with a
rights.
hot tub and like maybe an above ground pool or in ground pool if I'm so lucky.
Okay. In ground, you say? Did you ever go to a kid's house that was so rich he had a pool inside his house?
Oh,
the
yeah.
old inside the house pool?
Yeah, there was a girl in our
Motherfuck
school that
you.
had that. Yeah.
God damn it.
First house she lived in had an outdoor pool, and then they moved to a house with an indoor pool. And it was like, Jesus Christ. And I remember we were friends with my brother was friends with the Comries, like Mike Comrie and stuff, and he played hockey with him. I remember going to their house. They had a gymnasium in their house. Like a full-on, like bigger than my junior high school's gymnasium.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just a weird blend of like it's kind of jealousy because if somebody gave me that, I'd be like, yeah, it's mine.
We all
this
want
gymnasium's mine. I wouldn't be like, this is too much. This is just too much. I'd be like, I
don't
fucking
need a
yes.
gymnasium. I don't need a gymnasium.
But then you
Yes,
get
I
one and be
do.
like, fuck, I love my gymnasium.
I love my gymnasium.
I only use this little corner to throw a basketball against the wall. That's my workout now that I'm 43. I sit in a chair and throw a basketball against the wall. I've got strong hands. The doctors say that my heart's going to go before my wrists. That's for sure.
Are you going to get your vaccine right away because you're
Fuck
above 40?
you. I don't want that gene therapy. Then you know contagions don't exist. Yeah, I think I'm going to get like, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to hold out for Pfizer or Moderna or go for AstraZeneca.
Yeah, AstraZeneca.
It's funny that we've got like a podium now. We've got like we've got the podium of vaccines where it's like
I don't know,
Pfizer's gold with his black fist in the air. And then
Pfizer's
there's
the one I'm supposed to get.
Pfizer. Oh, you.
Yeah.
So there's Pfizer and
I'm
Moderna's,
fat,
but
diabetic.
Moderna is the silver medal,
Yeah,
and
then
AstraZeneca's bronze, and
Yeah.
Johnson & Johnson tried.
Eugene! Sorry. he was
Johnson
digging.
& Johnson fell right at the finish line.
Get the fuck out of there. Sorry, my dog's digging in the backyard.
Let
Look
him
at
dig. Let him fucking
He's like,
dig.
I'm a dog. I dig.
Let him dig.
That's how I'd be able. That's how if I had kids, that's what I would. Whenever I'm with like Jana and I
It's
hear
when
her
he gets
talking to
in
her
the
kids,
hole
it's
that you know
so
that
funny.
you got a problem. When
Yeah.
a dog digs and then lays in the hole and he's like, because he wants you to put the dirt on him.
No, he's a good dog.
He is good. How long have you been blabbing away on this fucking podcast?
I feel like it's been a long time. We do have a scratchy this week. Oh yeah, we're nearing the end.
Yeah.
We're nearing the end.
That's good. What is it? What time wise? We usually do like an hour
Yeah,
or
like an
something
hour.
like that. Yeah, but we can
almost
cut
an
it.
hour.
Oh yeah, fuck it. We told a corporate. Hey, do you listen to Dead Baby Bear? Oh yeah, those guys are edgy. They fucking tell stories about corporates.
I don't do corporate, so I had 0 stories.
I know that you just had that one from fucking 12
Where it
years
was-
ago where you're like,
I think
remember that one that I did
scarred
that was
me.
terrible?
I think that scarred me from ever wanting to do them because I was like, I had such an awful experience and it was like a nightmare. And I'm like, I never want to go through that ever again. Meanwhile, other people will just like be like, oh yeah, I'll tell clean jokes, and they get up there and they dick it up and they
You can, the
are
thing
loved.
about those shows like that is you can be very quietly ganged up on.
yeah.
Where like they are a collective, they are there together, they
Yeah.
are a unit, they all know each other, and if like 2 tables don't like you, they start making eye contact with
Yes.
each other. Like,
That was like
And
a
then
show I
they're-
did in Rimby. Was it
yeah,
Rimby?
they just don't like. And now they like at a comedy club or
Yeah.
whatever, or even at like a community show, they don't all know each other.
Yeah.
So you can be like lighten the fuck up, or and then half of them do.
I was with Charles Haycock, and I had done that show before, and they liked me before. Like, I'd done a show in Rimby, they liked me, and then I did it, and he killed before me, like, destroyed the room. And then I went out, and they just did not. Well, it was 10 o'clock at night, everyone was fucking wasted, nobody liked me. I called them the wrong town right off the top. Like, it was just awful.
Yeah.
And then, like, the worst part was this guy came in, and this always happens. He came in. The guy that booked it was like, yeah. Last year we had a girl that sucked so hard she cried after. I was like, oh great. So
And
then I
people are
gotta-
coming up to you afterwards like, I usually like girls, but you were brutal.
You were terrible. Usually I like girls, but you're terrible.
Can you imagine if you got that one?
That'd be bad.
I usually think all women are funny, but you're fucking the worst.
You are proving
And
Jerry
strong and
Lewis
brave and
right.
wondrous.
You are proving Jerry Lewis right. But yeah, I did not do well.
I like how we have to go back to Jerry Lewis to get a comedian on the record saying women aren't funny.
Oh, Adam Carolla.
Oh, does he say
He
that
said
too?
it. I don't know if he still feels it, but he was one of the ones that said it. But this, I felt so bad after. But at least there was like one table that was like, we liked you. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with everybody else. I'm like, well, I can't put them all. And it was just,
Yeah.
It was a
And then you go in the parking lot and everybody's like, those are the crazy people.
non-winning ticket.
They ride electric bikes around town and deal drugs. So what do we have to do? Did you scratch and
I scratched
lose?
it and we lost.
Fuck off.
I know.
This podcast is never going to be brought to you by any kind of gambling service.
No, because
we
it's not
just
working.
lose.
I
every
remember when I was like,
fucking
it'll be a good
time.
idea because one day we'll win something big. Because like a weekly, yeah, no, we have not. I
We
think
don't
the
have
most
any
we've won
fucking
is
big winner energy.
$50.
We have no big winner
No,
energy.
we do not have
Very
big
little
winners.
winner energy.
My shriveled up ovaries and your tiny testicles, they're not gonna win anything.
Oh no. Well, if your testes get big, get tested. Because that's bad. Well, thanks for being on your own podcast.
Thanks for joining me on your podcast.
I feel like one day you're just going to leave this podcast and do the other one.
No, why?
Because you're going to like them more and be like, I'm having more fun on this podcast.
I have more fun on this podcast merely because it's not on Zoom.
So nothing to do with me.
Oh, no. Hey, you didn't say I was the hottest girl in the yard. I'm not going to say I like
Well,
hanging
right
out with
now
you.
you are. But if Taylor Swift hopped the fence, you'd be 2. Instant 2 as soon as her feet hit the fucking ground. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm the second best looking guy in the yard right now. And I can comb my hair any way I want to and that wouldn't change.
I'm never not doing this podcast. I'm committing for life. That's it.
Okay,
We're
for
doing
life.
it for life now.
For life.
Until
All
one
right.
of us dies.
That could be soon.
Oh, never know.
I see what you did there. Challenge accepted.
Every week's a
I
It's
will.
gonna be a Law and Order episode soon.
The week after I
podcast
kill myself, I
episode.
want you guys to just keep doing it. You know
I'm
what I
not
mean?
doing this.
I'm gonna put it in my will.
Who would
You and
replace
Jim.
you?
Jim does.
Jim's not as good as you.
Yeah, that's
Shut the fuck up. He's better looking,
There's
younger,
no
and
way
funnier.
Jim could. That's
Better
why he's
looking,
not
but
as good
less
as you,
funny.
because he's good looking. He doesn't have to try to be good.
Yeah, but he can still be funny. He still is
He
funny,
is funny, but
but he's not supposed to be.
But he's not like. No, he's an anomaly. Like when it's a good-looking guy and he's really funny, you're just like, wow, good for you.
Gross. Is it like a double negative where you're like, ugh, no, I'm grossed out by that hot, funny, smart guy with a nice car.
No, it just bothers me though when like hot guys are funny. I'm like, fuck you, go be an actor. Stop this. Like, okay, get out of here. People like Sean need the stage. here.
Exactly. Let fat guy have the stage. Let old fat tits do it. Let little dick energy have a minute.
Hey, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's true.
He doesn't get any pussy at parties. Let him have a couple laughs in the corner of this bar,
That's my
standing on a
favorite,
fucking
like,
milk crate.
hacky thing to do when I'm on stage and like there's a hot girl and she's talking. I just love to be like, can I have attention for a minute? Please, you get attention all the time. Can you just shut your fucking bitch mouth?
And it's funny too because like tight pussy energy, it's different, right?
Tight
Big pussy energy is like they're the ones who are like, can I help you with those boxes? Because I don't have a lot going on downstairs.
I wouldn't say big, loose
Loose
pussy energy.
Loose pussy energy.
You want that tight pussy energy. You want
That
that,
tight
TPE,
pussy,
not
yeah, that sort of- you can-
LPE.
Yeah, like it's one of those tuning forks, you smack the tuning fork on the side of her pussy and it's just that Tuscan fucking rattle, and she's like, and I need a lot of things, and you're like, wow, that pussy is high maintenance. Put your earplugs in. You're gonna do any work on it.
There's an echo.
Okay, well, thanks for being on your podcast. And
Thanks.
like I said, if I die,
Okay.
God willing, then you two take it over
All right. I mean,
and call it Living Baby Bear.
Living Baby Bear. We never
Brought
saw
Take a
Living
positive
Baby
turn.
Bear.
What's that?
Brought to you by the memory of Sean.
Brought to you by Sean's Memorial.
We won't even mention that you died. We'll just do a very, very.
Even
We'll
mention
we'll
that
pretend to be you.
Jim will just do a Sean impression for 4 years. You're gonna have to gain some weight for this role.
Does that mean I'm gonna die 4 years after you?
I don't know. Why do you have to talk about death every episode, you downer? Okay, let's see how many people listen to this shit.
Yeah, we'll tell
All
you the
right.
number next week.
Have a great week, everybody, or weekend.